Hello, I am Matt Williamson. How's everyone doing this fine day? It is officially draft in the books. It's getting to that point where things kind of really calm down. We do have some mini camps and things like that on the horizon. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to become a Steeler soon, but we shall see on that. Not that I know that answer. But what I wanted to do today is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and it kind of slipped my mind, is all the Steeler players, current guys under contract, whose contract expire after the 2025 season. There's a lot of names. I think the Steelers have more than their share compared to the other 31 teams. I'd have to study this, but this is becoming a very common thing in the league, to sign one-year deals. Now, some of these guys are guys with expiring deals that are longer than that, of course, or rookie contracts, of course, as is every year. But the Steelers do have a lot of guys under one-year deals, and they have a large portion of their roster up for free agency. So I want you to think about, who would you consider bringing back or even talking to now? I guess we'll talk through that stuff. And I know that I bring it up a lot that they have a lot of, as it stands now, they have a comp pick in round 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that could even go up, get better. And they have a ton of cap space, but they don't have a ton of players under contract either, as you will see. So TJ Watt is the biggest name by far. Folks, I don't think he's going anywhere. And everyone's going to be, wow, you gave him $40 million or $38 million. All we care about really in terms of is it an overpay is percentage of cap compared to previous seasons. And I think it'll probably be lower than his current deal, to be honest with you. He's not going anywhere. That could happen before training camp. Now, I throw this out there because it's something they do pretty often, and I'm a big fan of this move, is some of these guys that are going into lame duck contracts, sometimes they will sign the big name dudes, and this happened to Watt when he signed his current deal, in Latrobe, kind of the dog days of camp. People are starting to drag a little bit, and boom, you sign a huge deal to Highsmith, Freiermuth, Watt, whoever it was. And it just kind of lifts spirits. And everyone has, the cafeteria's got a little more jump that day, So if it doesn't happen in the next couple weeks, I bet Watt gets done week or two into the hot days of July, or of, Latrobe time. So don't worry about the money. I think he's going to be a Steeler for sure. All right. A lot of other starters, though. Isaac Seumalo. We've brought him up a lot. I would be surprised if he's back. I mean, I think he's starting to decline. He's already 29 years old. So, actually, he's older than 29. What I'm looking at now is his age of signing. He signed the deal with the Steelers when he's 29. And this will be his third season since. So he's going to be 33. I think you look for his replacement. I'm a little shocked, underwhelmed that they didn't do more of that in the draft. We've talked through that quite a bit. And as we often talk about, I wanted to start by saying this. Think about what these guys might yield on the open market in terms of bringing back comp picks. A starting O-lineman that hits the offensive market, even if he isn't great. James Daniels is coming off a pretty major injury. He got you a mid-round pick. Seumalo might get you a fourth or a fifth or something like that if a guard-starved team wants to sign him. So I think he probably walks. Now I'm predicting this a year before they play a whole season. Who knows? And I'm not going through everyone saying he's gone, he's in, whatever. But I want you to just be aware of the names. Cole Holcomb is another interesting one. I can't imagine Bruner or Mark Robinson having a season where you're strong enough to feel that's my number 3 for a year from now. Maybe Harrison can, but Holcomb, most of these guys are going to just have a lot to prove. Probably won't be crazy to keep if it's a hit this year, and I think he's a perfect poster boy for that. If you want to keep him, you can. If you don't, you let him walk. No big deal. Much like a KZ, who's currently unemployed. It's time to head to the track for the first leg of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby. That just happened. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your Derby info and sports betting action with the largest selection of odds at everything from the NBA to NHL playoffs to the MLB and UFC and boxing. BetOnline is you covered for all your online wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, some of these other guys, we're going to kind of rapid fire. I mean, there's just so many names here. There's a lot of expiring contracts. Darius Slay, who you would imagine, you're not going to sign him as a 34-year-old to an extended deal. But if this goes well, maybe you run it back and draft the corner high next year. Or if Trice shows a lot of promise, something like that. Who knows? Now, Pickens is the obvious one. I get the impression that they don't trust him enough to franchise him, but that could be an option. Could he still get dealt? Maybe. It seems to be that they're going to run this thing back and go from there. He would obviously yield you a good comp pick if he hits the market a year from now. But that one's a little tricky, that's for sure. Miles Killebrew's an important player, but not a big deal to keep him either way. I mean, it wouldn't be hard, is my point. I mean, he's useful, don't get me wrong. He's a great special teamer. But it wouldn't be difficult to keep him around, throw another year on the deal. One of the most interesting ones to me is Deshaun Elliott. We haven't seen enough of him to know that, boy, he's a high-end starter, love him, foundation player. But if they were to talk to him this offseason about an extension and just locking him up, I would 100% understand. I think that would make a lot of sense. Add 2 more years on his deal, give him a nice bump, move some money around. I think that's a guy you'd love to keep, and you really wouldn't want to see him get on the open market. But safeties don't make a ton unless you're a Minka-level player, which he won't make that contract. Cordell Patterson, too. I still can't believe he's on the roster, and I can't believe he's going to remain on the roster. But he is up after this upcoming season as well. As is Jaylen Warren. I guess you could throw a year on his deal, but I mean, he's a 26-year-old running back that has some wear and tear, and running backs are easy to find. DeMarvin Leal, we've talked about him a lot lately. Real put up or shut up year. Dean Lowry, I'm sure he'll let him test free agency and go from there when it's all said and done. Calvin Austin, which is important. Could you lose Pickens and Austin out of that wide receiver room? Connor Hayward, Mark Robinson. None of these guys are going to be high priority dudes. Juan Thornhill's exciting to me, though. I know he only signed a 1-year deal, sure. But you wouldn't want him and Elliott both coming. If they have successful seasons, you wouldn't want Elliott and Thornhill both hitting the market with the state of your safeties right now, I don't think. The defensive tackle they signed, Daniel Ukele, is also up after this year. I don't know how to comment on him without at least seeing him in a Steeler uniform. But I like the pickup. Robert Woods was obviously a 1-year deal. Kenneth Gainwell, so you do have a chance to have a big shakeup in your running back room. Isaiah Loudermilk, Max Sharping, Scotty Miller, James Pierre. Now, these are small potatoes type guys, obviously. Donald Parham, Skylar Thompson, Jeremiah Moon, Ryan McCullum, Corliss Waitman, who's not going to probably be a Steeler anyways, and Dylan Cook. I'm bypassing some names that we don't even know who they are, basically. And that is about it. But that's a lot of names, folks. I mean, I just want you to be aware of who are the guys that could be in their last year in a Steeler uniform. And team building, it goes a lot with that, And most of those guys, I would say 75 to 80% of them probably have to have a nice year to really start talking extension. Most of them will probably hit the free agent market, much like Loudermilk did last year. That doesn't mean you can't bring them back on the cheap, some of these cheaper guys. But Watt, I'm sure, will get done. Elliott and Pickens loom. I don't know what to exactly think on that, but they're going to be down the line a little bit. I don't think they're going to offer Pickens a contract soon, that's for sure. I mean, I don't think they trust him enough to invest heavily at, $25 million a year or whatever. So that's that list. I've been wanting to talk about that for a while. Over and out. Take care.